Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are ready. This is your senator and servant, Carla Joseph, welcoming you to another segment of my talk radio program, On Point, heard every other Tuesday here on WSTA. And we are so thankful to be here this evening. May has begun. This evening's show, I don't have a guest, just because we want to bring out a lot of information that has been happening over the past couple of weeks. So we're looking very good with a lot of items that we want to bring out. First of all, I want to also say good night to my staff member, Ms. Delika Carwood, my special assistant.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So we have a couple of items we want to cover for tonight's show. And before we begin, I want to assure the listening audience you have an opportunity, a critical opportunity to call in to the talk show tonight. I don't do it often, but tonight is one night you can. And you can call into the radio station here at WSTA 1340, the People Station. The number, as I'm sure many of the listeners know already, but I will be sure to indicate to you so you can call in, is 340-1340. Again, the number here at WSTA Radio is 340. I want to recognize what this month is. It's two things that we are celebrating nationally for the month of May. And the first is the National Nurses Month. This is National Nurses Month, and this month, and always, we are so proud of the work of our healthcare providers, those persons who are nurses, who take care of patients. They have to sacrifice a lot. Some people are really sick, and the nurses go out fearlessly to take care and nurse persons back to health. This Nurses Month, let us remember for those who travel with us on this wonderful journey we call life, and who provide services and in the nursing and health field. We want to thank you so much, nurses. You are our unsung heroes for your investment in our community, for your investment in our people, for taking care of us when we are at our lowest, and for providing all the support and the sacrifices our nurses give. My family has a lot of nurses. That's one of the main career pathways in my family. It has the highest amount of nurses in my family, more than in any other profession. And so we have a lot of nurses in my family, and I want to say I know a lot of them done years right here in the Virgin Islands. And they always say what a rewarding profession it is. I also have classmates, former neighbors who are nurses, and I applaud you and I give you kudos, because sometimes you work tirelessly, you come home, you have your children to deal with and your other family members, and even still you are giving. Recently I had an opportunity to introduce at Ease Tea Garden Miss Celia Nurse, and she is a nurse. She's also a graduate of the Ivana Udorakan High School, and she is a member of the Board of Nurse Licensure. As a member of the Committee on Rules and Judiciary, I sat in on her confirmation. I actually made the motion so that we can confirm her to that board, and it went on successfully. So she's a young, up and coming person in the nursing field, and she also teaches at the University of the Virgin Islands, and has taught also at the Wheatley Skills Center Nursing. So kudos to that nurse. I also have a nurse who is retired, my aunt Estelyn Walwyn, my cousin, and I will say cousin. Those are some great, wonderful nurses. Those are two retired nurses that I know, and I know who even today, although that they are retired, I don't think you could ever be a nurse and retire. They still provide support for their family and loved ones. Definitely, I want to say a special shout out to Ruth Leonard. She has always been there and for our family, and we definitely appreciate her deeply. We also are celebrating something that is fantastic, and it brings a lot of attention to a great need that we have in our community, and that is National Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, we all know that we have, some people have high blood pressure, some people have diabetes, some people have neurological challenges, we have issues with our eyes, we have physical challenges as well. And so our mental health and well-being is critical to our overall health too. And I know there was a time when there was a lot of stigmatism. People look down on people who have issues with depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, all of those type of OCCE, all of those types of mental health issues. That should not be the case. We should start to look very strongly at doing something for our fellow persons, similar to what we do for persons who are diagnosed with diabetes and even cancer or high blood pressure. Is support them, encourage them, provide them with the necessary resources that they can tap into quickly to address the issues. And mental health is typically misunderstood, and that's why I'm using those other type of diagnosed health challenges so that we could relate to it. That you don't give the person who is experiencing any of those challenges a sense that they are unimportant, that they have a stigma, and then you're shunning them, or they are constantly labeled. We do that a lot as human beings. We label people. But know that there are a number of persons who have overcome those level of labels. We have people labels. And so that's one thing I want to try to urge. And when one has a positive mental health, they are better equipped to handle stress, to be able to learn to cope. And use when you're going through a stressful time is definitely talking to someone, definitely exercising, also, eating right helps with you, and just taking some time out for yourself so you could decompress and be able to really deal with some of your mental issues. And if it comes to a point where you see, or your loved ones see, that those things are not working, definitely call out and reach out to a healthcare provider. Okay, so now I want to ask Ms. Carla. We're doing something really terrific with our office. We did it last year, the office of Senator Carla Joseph. We are looking at a number of functions for the whole year. So we want to be able to be sure to let the public know what is happening for us again this year for summer. What are we doing terrific this year for summer? Ms. Carla, do you want to tell the listening audience what we are doing?
Yes, so this year we're hosting our second annual Summer Youth Employment Opportunity Program. We focus on training, payment, conduct, communications, safety, and security. Last year we employed 18 young people, and out of those 18, held the students on, and the students are still employed with those partners to this day. To get an application, you can go on the senator's website, which is senatorcarlajoseph.com, or you can go on or look onto our Facebook page, Senator Carla Joseph, and click the link. That will also give you the application as well. And then you can always email it to Senator Carla Joseph at legvi.org or you can come to the office and drop off your application, but you should give us a call before you come, and our number is 340-693-3515. Again, that's 340-693-3515. And this program is for young people ages 16 to 24.
Okay, and what is the deadline to submit an application?
And the deadline to submit applications is June 10th, 2022.
Okay, and so we want to be sure that young people have a opportunity. We do go through a selection process with the young persons to get this opportunity. Who were our historical partners in our community, our employer partners, Ms. Callwood, in our summer youth employment opportunity program?
To name a few, we had the Catholic Charities, Boys and Girls Club. We had GEC LLC, who are currently working on the Duna Bypass project. We had Lime Tree, also partnerships with Miss Lisa Hamilton from tourism.
Yes, from the Hotel and Tourism Association. So we are hoping that we'll get those partners and other partners on board. This, my people, my loved ones, is how we build our workforce. This is how we provide opportunities to build capacity in the Virgin Islands. Many of us can attest to getting into the workforce, knowing how to conduct ourselves, the dress code, those things that employers look for, your attendance, your early age in building our work ethic and how we conduct ourselves. And how are we able to do that? Summer employment. So I definitely would encourage persons to get on the website, Senator Carla Joseph at legvi.org. Actually, it's senatorcarlajoseph.com. That's the website address. And then download the application and email it to Senator Carla Joseph at legvi.org. We already got some verbal commitment from some of our employer partners, and we are looking forward to having young people participate in the program and again learn. That's what it is. You have to be, some of us think about education as just being in a classroom, in a structured setting. When you go to school and you have a teacher, all of us are teachers, and this opportunity provides a key difference from a structured setting where you are actually in the workforce, learning what the expectations of the employers are, so that you now can be employment ready, workforce ready to enter the workforce when you complete high school, when you complete college. And two, you are making connections. So if you are a disconnected young person from the community, this is also a great opportunity for you to connect, or if you are connected, to reconnect and strengthen those relationships, because those persons are going to get to know you, get to know your work ethic. They're going to help build you up, and that's what we are supposed to be doing with each other, building us up and building our capacity, building our community, building our workforce constantly. It is always something that you do every day, and it's an ongoing process. And so I definitely would encourage anyone who has a young person 16 to 24 to call my office. The office number once again is 340-693-3515. You ask for Ms. Carla, Dalika Carla. She's very passionate about this and she really works hard to make it happen. And we had a fantastic time and served over 18 young people the last time we had the program, that we conducted the program, and it was great. We have some of them who have already reapplied for this year. Also, I wanted to touch briefly on a couple of other items. You know, today is May 17th, and for those of us who are public servants, elected public servants, today's the last day to file your nomination petition. I believe the time has already passed, which was 6 o'clock, and you have to file your nomination petitions. I filed my nomination petition yesterday. I am asking once again for your support to be an elected official and to continue to serve you as a humble servant. I'm not a person who really boasts a lot, but as your humble servant and knowing that I'm your voice to get things moving and get things done. I'm very passionate about that. And then I also wanted to let persons know, again, you can call into the show. Our phone lines are open. The number is 774-1340. That's 340-774-1340. Now, my office has started a really great initiative. As many of you know, and I've talked about it, I grew up in Bovoni housing community, public housing, and I had gotten a couple of persons or my fellow neighbors who had reached out to me and said, Carla, we need to do something about Bovoni. We need to start an initiative. There's a lot of challenges going on in that community. This was cemented when I had the opportunity to sit in the confirmation with the now Commissioner of Police, the Honorable Ray Martinez, that yes, we have some areas that have been identified as hotspots. And so going back just on my background, being a grassroots activist, also being a director for transitioning persons, working in programs to transition persons, and crime preventative program, leadership development program for young people who are disconnected, disadvantaged, as well as at risk. We know what works, the evidence-based programs and method that works, and that is mentorship. All of us who are successful can attest that we had a mentor, somebody who looked out for us, who gave us the guidance. Sometimes the guidance just doesn't come from your home circle. It also expands to a greater community. We know there's the old African adage that it takes a village to raise a child, which is so true. Most of us here, and those of you who are listening in, can attest to that it does take a village. They play such a critical role. Also, along with Commissioner Martinez, I had conversations with the principal at BCB Middle School, and I'm also a promotee from that school, and he voiced concerns regarding issues, Mr. Corbett, regarding some of the challenges he's facing with a number of young people exhibiting negative behavior and in the school. And so we have to start to make that fearless, committed, and well demonstrated effort to see how we can work on providing a level of opportunities for our young people, and so that the trajectory and where they go and where they're going to be going isn't going to be behind bars or 6 feet under, but that they one day will be there to help support us as we age and in our community, to provide services that we need. And they are respectful, they are honorable, they have good attitude, they have really good work ethic, they understand and have received an opportunity to realize their purpose in life. So that's one thing that mentors do. They help give young people and a person. It doesn't even have to be a young person actually, but this is definitely geared. This program is definitely going to be geared towards that. And we're starting off in Bovoni. As I said, charity begins at home. So in our next coming segments, I'm going to be pulling out some persons who are making up the Bovoni Mentorship Planning Committee. And so that's one of the other things. Remember, we want to assure that our people are not actually getting into situations where they are having negative behavior. They are abiding, law-abiding citizens. Our young people are following the rules as laid out, and they are complying with them. So we want to assure that that is done, and that is very critical. I also want to point out for this evening a couple of things, because we were talking about two things: young people and mental health, because this is Mental Health Month. And to just let you know that there are a number of studies that's been shown, and especially for us in the Virgin Islands, and when we see that we're having some challenges with our young people, that a number of studies have been done. One was recent as in April 2022, which is showing that, they have done a little survey of young people in the United States, not here. I'm sure that the department, I recall the Department of Health and the Department of Education in conjunction are working to do a survey too on how our young people are feeling. But this survey and this study was published in April of this year, and it said a startling amount of young people have persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. And this is from the year that they have done it is from 2009 to 2021. And in 2009, it was 26% of our young people in the United States had a persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. Would you take a guess on how much it is now, and how much the survey revealed to 2021 it is? 44%. That is very telling. And so these things lead to a lot of mental health issues, to include suicide cases of suicides, and these are negative behavior, eating disorders, depression, all of those things. Four factors that really contributes to it includes social media. Social media plays such a critical role in our young people's life. They have issues with bullying, issues with just being there constantly on their social media and receiving all of the not so positive and sometimes negative information. So that's one area too. We have to be able to be vigilant and monitor our young people's use of social media. And for our listening audience, social media includes Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, all of those things. So that contributes to our young people having this persistent feeling of sadness or hopelessness. And especially now that we're going through this whole pandemic, it's really at a low. But I know and I'm confident that we can take it and build it up if we actually work together to do that. So those are one aspect of it. That is one of the most prevailing. The other two is sociality is down, meaning that they are, and this has to do with, again, social issues. They're stressing that the biggest problem with social media, again, is social media. It might not be the social media itself, but rather activities that replace it. Our young people are not socializing as much as they used to before. They're not getting into a lot of activities which promotes and helps them to become more social and be included. And so they're home playing video games or they're on the internet. And so that's one of the key reasons why over the past 2 months, 3 months, I have tried my very best to engage a number of nonprofits here that deal with our young people and deal with some of these issues. And so that included getting in with the Boys and Girls Club and the like. Let me just quickly run down the other two areas, and that's the world is stressful, and there's more news about the world stressors. So a lot of the things our young people are hearing and making them sad is what's happening in the world and also happening here locally and in their local home. And then our parents need to learn a little bit more modern parenting strategies. We could always use ways to help our parents learn strategies and how to address issues, because they too are being stressed out and have issues, social issues, economic issues, financial issues. And so it's how we teach our parents to be better parents. And that's something we all have to work on. There's no cookie cutter of being a parent, but we can work with our parents in doing that. We're almost close to the time to end the program this evening, but before we go, I want to again alert the listening audience that please, the summer, our office, second annual Summer Youth Employment Opportunity Program is up and running, and your applications can be downloaded from our website at senatorcarlajoseph.com. When is the deadline, Ms. Carla, to submit?
The deadline is Friday, June 10th.
Great. And the applications are there. I want to also mention and thank Ms. Carwood for joining me this evening for another On Point segment of On Point. I want to thank my staff and, of course, the Joseph Action Committee for their support all the time, and you, the listening audience, as well. We ask you to join us for another segment of On Point right here on WSTA, the People's Station, on May 31st from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Together, let's stay on point, Virgin Islands, and God bless you all.